Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Busters Taste Challenge. We're starting on time this time, actually a minute early, 5:29 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's still dark outside, but the daylight's supposed to be coming here, something. So we have from 1909, really 1867, but 1909, Johnnie Walker Red Label. This is the last Taste Challenge for a good while with Johnnie Walker Red Label. We won't see this around again until we bring in a new scotch to challenge it. I think you're going to like that scotch. The next one coming up. Ooh, what a big deal that's going to be. Here's Scoresby. Scoresby. Like scores, basketball scores, BYB. Introduced in, it's so much glare you can't really, but introduced in 1960. Here's the old Diageo bottle, you know, with the rumpled shoulder and neck. Cabin Fever's in that bottle still today. That's that maple syrup flavored whiskey, Cabin Fever. Scoresby was sold to Sazerac 2 years ago in 2018. Diageo sold it and a bunch of other brands to Sazerac. Seagram's VO, Scoresby, Seagram's 83, which I've never seen. Well, a whole bunch of stuff. Can't remember. It was like 18 brands. Very rare blended Scotch whiskey. Yeah, it's so rare you can get it at Walmart. Amazing, right? When I think of Walmart, very rare doesn't really come into my head, you know? Maybe very common, but oh, well, whatever. You know, these labels. And it says the Connoisseur's Scotch whiskey. Connoisseurs. It's amazing that connoisseurs drink 3-year age blended Scotch whiskey and really regard it with a lot of devotion. Never know. Never know. Aged for 36 months. Distilled and blended in Scotland. Notice what it says. Distilled and blended in Scotland. It doesn't say bottled in Scotland. And I think we know why that is, because it's probably bottled here. Let's see. Imported and bottled by United Distillers, Stamford, Connecticut. Well, there's your answer. And I think United Distillers was like a Sazerac a Diageo outfit in Connecticut. A lot of Diageo products come through Norwalk, Connecticut, and Stamford, Connecticut. And now it's probably bottled in, well, it might be bottled in Connecticut for a few more years, because I know Sazerac and Diageo had a production agreement. Like they own the brands, but there's so many years that Diageo is going to supply it to them. Drewski Brewski, lights go out. No, the lights didn't go out. It's Dawn Busters. I got to wait for the daylight to come into play. That's the whole point of Dawn Busters, right? That's the whole point. I start in the dark, and by the time I'm done, it's daylight. It's dawn. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so honestly, truthfully, I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge, because I don't think Johnnie Walker tastes like anything else. And Johnnie Walker's better than everything I've tried so far. And Johnnie Walker's smoky, and Scoresby isn't. You know, it just is. Hey. Scoresby is, whoa, that thing went, psh. It makes me wonder sometimes when I open these whiskeys and there's a pressure release. I'm not a scientist, but I've watched science fiction movies. Some of these, you open them and nothing happens. Just, you open it. But some of these, you open, you've had it closed for months, and you open it and it goes, psh. You can hear the pressure release. So what's building up in there? You know, is it fermenting or something? Is there has to be a gas buildup, right? Now look how pale. It's so pale. I don't think they're in it. I think that's the natural color after 3 years. Now the Johnnie Walker is dark relative to the other one. And I think they do add caramel color because somebody in another country like Canada or wherever, Ireland, was reviewing it. And over in those European Commonwealth or British Commonwealth countries, they have to disclose any kind of coloring. And it was saying caramel color. But in the United States, that's not required. Le Boom Jamez says, hey man, do you drink tequila? I'll send you a nice bottle of Fortaleza tequila to review. I appreciate it, but no, I've never tried tequila in my life. Although today, this very day, I'm going to do a canned tequila cocktail. That's the only tequila I've ever tried was the canned, like Cuttails, the original, Cuttails from San Diego. I tried that tequila canned cocktail, and then they call it RTD, ready to drink. And then I bought this one called Monaco. It's tequila lime something. But I know that's not the true taste of tequila like you would have it on the rocks or straight, you see. So, but I'm not opposed to it. It's just that I got so much of a backstock of whiskeys and rum. I don't have time for tequila. So what is it, 2020? Y'all catch me back about 2040, and we're going to start looking at it. You say you're being flipped, and I don't like it. I'm not being flipped. I'm serious. That's how backstocked I am. Morning. Have to admit, I don't like it in the can. DJ Beacon. Don't like, the canned stuff. Okay, the ready to drink. So let's look at the thing. Darker, lighter, pale straw. So that's just pale straw. I think that's the color Scotch is going to be after 3 years in a used barrel, hard oak barrel. It's just going to be so pale. You don't add color in. That's what you get. Now, here you add color in and you get that. That either. Okay. It's cool, man. Everyone has their preferences. Cheers. And it's not even a preference issue. It's just a getting around to it issue. I might drink tequila and think it's better than any liquor I've ever had. I might drink tequila and say it's better than whiskey. It's better than rum. It's better than vodka. Well, I don't like vodka, but I know people that love it. Gin. I'm not too much for that. I've had some good ones, you see, but I've reviewed them. I did a bunch of taste challenges, and then I decided I'm getting out of the gin game. My daughter likes it. Her and her friends are forever making mixed drinks, and they experiment with different concoctions, and they like doing it. It's like a hobby. So, but no, I don't think you're going to see gin anymore on this channel. No, I did Crystal Palace. I did Taka, which is a better than average gin for the price point. I did Clubhouse, Seagram's Distillers Reserve, and so on. But I just don't want to do it. Okay, I'm satisfied with Canadian whiskey, Scotch whiskey blended, or single malt actually. American blended, Canadian blended, American bourbon, and the rum, the clear, the silver or white as they call it, the gold, and the black, and the añejos. Okay, so here we go. Let's get this challenge done. I might do another one later today to make up time. You know what I'm saying? Remember I told you I had 8 days where I knew I couldn't do it? And I was like, I'm losing time, I'm losing traction. And I've been doubling up. Like last night I doubled up. I did the Fandango Friday, and then right after, boom, I was doing Skull and Palo Viejo. That was a pretty close contest now. But I could tell Skull because the Skull dry white rum is so dry. I mean, it's just like you get thirsty drinking it. So I knew. I said, I know that skull. And I was right. This smells, it smells like corn, alcohol with a little bread. Yes, it smells like grain whiskey, which is in America and Canada and Ireland and Scotland is invariably corn, maize. Europeans call it maize. Then you're blending in single malt scotch, which would be that bread taste, that bread dough. The barley whiskey, malt, barley malt whiskey, right? You take barley, you malt it. You can read about how they do that. And then you turn it into beer. You could make beer out of it or whiskey. Okay, so that's what that smells like. So it must be Scoresby. Well, let's see. Let's see. I got my eyes closed because the color's too different. If I glanced, I'd know automatically. Well, this is Johnnie Walker anyway. And I don't need tags on the glasses because the color difference. I know that Johnnie Walker is darker, so the tags are a moot point. They're irrelevant, and I'm going to take them off. Yeah, this is the Johnnie Walker. Yeah, you get the grain whiskey. Yeah, corn. Yeah. The bready malt, but you get the smoke. So I can open my eyes now. I know which is which. Because Scoresby is not smoky. There's like a 1% thing with smoke on it, but it's 99% not smoky. It's just like that little twang from Scotch, you know, that kind of compost thing. But Scoresby is very ordinary. It's I mean, I paid $15.65 for that bottle. Was that a good deal? It depends what state you're in. In Louisiana, it's a good deal. You can get the big jug bottle at Walmart for about $24.99. But in John and Neely's state, Georgia, with Georgia Beer Reviews, he says half the price. But then some stuff he gets, I get half price relative to him. So it's strange how these prices will change so drastically state to state. Okay. So what do we say about Scoresby? Is it a bad product? No. Get some peatiness too. But it's just bland. I don't know what else to say. It's got some flavor. It just doesn't have a lot of flavor. It's nothing off-putting or gross or nasty or harsh. There's no bad bite to it or anything like that. But it's just like, you know what I mean? But then to be fair, I'm not singling it out because most of those no, we got to watch that word mass produced because almost all of it's mass produced. Most of the blended scotches I've tried have been like that, just bland. Chivas Regal, aged 12 years, bland. Sorry, Chivas Brothers, but that's the way I see it. And all them other ones, you know, the Piper Dean, bland. But that's only $6.49 a bottle, so you don't mind so much. King Robert II has a little smoke in this. 100 Pipers has even more smokiness, so it's not that bland. And it's $9.99 a bottle. Some stores $8.99. So there's your hidden, that's like your secret weapon, so to speak. 100 Pipers, character, smoke, enjoyment level. It's cheap. It's from Chivas Brothers. It's a third of the price of Chivas Regal. Think about all those points. Buchanan's. It's rich. It's smoky. It's peaty. It has character. It's not harsh. It's smooth. It's enjoyable. It's fine. It's wonderful. It's $35 a bottle also. Oh, see. Clan McGregor has some nice character. Has an interesting and unique flavor. And it's less than $10 a bottle in certain stores. So there you go. Johnnie Walker, Cost you about $20, but I can get it for $17.99. Not in this town, no way. Be about 22 here. But in Metairie, there's a store that has it for $17.99, Martin Wine Cellar. Not say it wouldn't change tomorrow. You know, you could go there tomorrow and they change the tag and it jumped it up $3. But whatever, you know, last 2 times I was in there, $17.99. All right. Oh man. Does Johnnie Walker stand out with all the other scotches I've done? It definitely does. And in fact, it blows them away. Even the Buchanans, which I love, the Buchanans. And that's from Diageo also, but that's a different Scotch house. All right. They got their operations over there. Johnnie Walker got their operations over there, and they do not mix. Well, at least we don't know. A lot of these companies, from what I read, trade Scotch with each other. You know, when they're doing blending, they'll be like, we want this character, blah, 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 and we'll trade you for this. They do a lot of bartering and trading or whatever. But I mean, what I mean by the operations is each Scotch house does their own thing. You know, they control their operation. Johnnie Walker runs their show. Buchanan's runs their show. Diageo is the umbrella. They own the company. But they don't, from what I can understand, fiddle with it. Because if you screw things up, they get screwed up. Just like Sazerac, they got their Buffalo Trace. That's an independent, sort of like operated thing. There are other distilleries do their thing, like the one in Lewiston, Maine, and the one Owensboro, Kentucky, and the one in Virginia. And Sazerac Canada does their thing. You know, you just have teams that it's like you're working for separate companies, but it's umbrella. All right. One more example, be like if you work for Kentucky Fried Chicken and your brother worked for Taco Bell. It wouldn't be the same experience because it's different operations, but it's the same umbrella company. Get it? Okay. You say, okay, we get it. That's so smoky and rich, and it has sweetness too. Sugar, like you say, they add sugar to it. No, but it has some sweetness, which is strange, I guess. It's got savoriness. It's got bread from the malt. It's single malt. It's got peat from the peat fires, and it's got a lot of peat smoke. So now a lot of people will tell me, Johnnie Walker Red Label, that's so bland and run of the mill and ho hum and nothing. It's their mixer, which the company itself admits. It's their base model. It's standard. It's so non-exciting, unexciting. Okay, I'm game for all of that, and I believe it because they have so many other levels above the red. They have the black, the double black, the green, the platinum, the blue. They got the Game of Thrones varieties. They got so many varieties like you can't even keep up. You know, it just keeps going. So you would assume that they're going to be more exquisite and luxurious than the Red Label. And they're going to be a lot more expensive than $20 a bottle. Common sense. But I haven't tried those yet, right? I've tried all the other scotches I have. And this beats all of them. So let's think about it along those lines. This is the base model from Walker. And it's blowing up all the other ones I've got, including the Buchanan's, which is 12-year age. Now, to me, that's a remarkable thing. I never confused it one time with any other scotch I tried. Did I know? It's just blowing them up. It's so unique. Well, it's unique. You can't be so unique because unique means unlike anything else. So you can't be so unlike anything else. You're either like something else or you're not like something else, right? So That's what unique means. It's unlike anything else. So there would be no adjective of scale with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Very or exceedingly. No, it's just unique or it ain't unique. All right. But enough of that theoretics. There we go. Johnnie Walker winning, 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 kicking butt and taking names. You know what I mean? There it is, gone. Wow, what a series. What a taste challenge series. It was so exciting, but predictable. After like 3 times, I was like, ain't nothing going to compare with this. So then it was just going through the motions like, taste, all right, Johnnie Walker, taste, all right, Johnnie Walker, taste, all right, Johnnie Walker. So you might say, I'm complaining because I watched 10 taste challenges and I watched the same video 10 times. You did. It's not going to be the case with rum. The Palo Viejo, very good, high quality, enjoyable, a fantastic value. If you ever see it for $6.99, I would absolutely 100% advise buying it. But on the other hand, it doesn't really stand out from the other really good values like Skol Dry White or Bacardi Superior or Captain Morgan White. Well, I haven't competed it. Good English. I haven't competed it yet against Captain Morgan White, but I'm figuring it'd be, you know, comparable type thing. Now, what's coming up tomorrow? Well, the plan tomorrow is to do, oh man, this got me troubled. Crap. Oh well, it's not a big deal. I didn't ever do a solo review of the Jim Beam repeal batch. Not that that's really necessary. I did it with David. We did the duo review. But sometimes when I do solo reviews, I can think better, you know, and I'll think of things that I didn't. Because when I'm doing the duo review, I'm like thinking the whole time, like, did I let the other person talk long enough? Did I interrupt? Oh, that was ugly. I shouldn't have said that. Or how dare he say that? I ought to say something back. No, that'll slow down the review, you know. So I'm like trying to balance all these things in my mind. When I do a solo review, I don't have to worry about all that because it's just me. I might have to worry about the people over there with the noise, with the power equipment or something like that, or the air conditioner running and making noise. But beyond that, the lighting is never difficult because you can find good light generally. It's just me drinking it and telling you what I think. So it's a lot more like relaxing, I guess you'd say. The duo reviews are more stressful because like I want to be fair to the other person and say, and consider what they're saying. You see, not ignore them or anything like that. I mean, I like doing the duo reviews, don't get me wrong. They're enjoyable. And that's part of it because tasting all these products in isolation would be like, what would be the point of that? Except from just some kind of enjoyment. But why did I start doing the videos? To interact with people. They say, oh, I tried that. Oh, you ever heard of this? And I say, what? Oh yeah, you know, and then you could talk because most people in my family and my personal friends, they have a marginal interest at best in all of this. They don't care that Pilsner Urquell hit the market in 1842. You know what I'm saying? They don't care at all. Like everybody I know in this town, if I told them, hey, you know, Miller High Life used to be called Fred Miller Lager, they would look at me like with a blank stare, like, what are you talking about? Why are you bringing up these facts that have no purpose? But you see online and in the beer world, you know, the internet, then people will say, oh, I didn't know that. And you get more interaction. That's what I'm saying. You say, oh, what a rant. It's not a rant. It's just an explanation of what's happening. So I think I'm going to do, okay. I got to figure it out. I'm probably not going to do another taste challenge today on the double up. I'm going to have to do that Jim Beam repeal batch solo. Try to find some interesting shirt to wear or something. And then maybe I'll post that so that tomorrow when I come in with the Jim Beam non-chill filtered repeal batch bourbon and start taste challenging it against everything, then I'll have that solo review under my belt. Oh yeah, good idea. All right, so rum, you'll have to wait. Sorry, but you'll get over it. Oh, I was gonna do Palo Viejo versus Aristocrat. Yeah, I know it ain't that exciting, but I am going to do it. And I think it's going to be very difficult to tell one from the other. And then Clubhouse is going to be difficult. The Clubhouse rum and the Palo Viejo is going to be tough. Now, the Ron Rio, who in the world is going to confuse those? That's like drinking, it's like rancid. Like, so how would you confuse something that tastes rancid to something that tastes normal? You wouldn't. And then I'll close it out with the doggone Bocador. Love Bocador. Bottled in Philadelphia, Bocador. That's a good one. But it's, it's kind of ordinary, but it's good. And then the Captain Morgan White. I like Captain Morgan White. I think it's a high quality product and I would recommend it. But, it's about $18.99 for the big handle bottle or more. Maybe $19.99. But you can get other things, like the Palo Viejo for $6.99 and for 1,000 milliliters, and it's just as good. So Captain Morgan, you buying the name, and the pretty bottle. You buying the name and the pretty bottle. And that everybody feeds into that. So if you show up at a party with Captain Morgan White, they're going to say, oh, yeah, he brought the Captain. Hey, yeah, and they're going to like it. If you show up with Palo Viejo, you know what people are going to think. You're being cheap. Why you brought that cheap stuff? It's just their mental thinking, their cognitive perception. Even though in a blind taste test, ain't none of those people complaining at the party could ever tell them apart. And I don't care what they say. I was talking about that this morning in Alcohol Eggs. Andy, one of the members, Andy, said, man, I used to get regular beers. Just think of any regular brand. And I had friends that would I only drink Miller High Life. I only drink Coors. I only drink Bud, whatever. Budweiser is sort of unique. You heard me again. I qualified it. It is unique because it's that rice lager. But generally, these people that claim that they only drink Coors, and you do a blind taste test with these people, they can't tell them apart. The person that would curse at you for bringing Old Milwaukee, give them a blind taste test. They ain't going to be able to tell them apart. Sorry, they ain't going to be able to do it. 90 times out of 100. I mean, they're just going to say, but whatever. Same thing with the rum, same thing with the whiskey. Okay. Jim Beam Prohibition repeal batch, non-chill filtered, 43% alcohol. I got it for $12.97 at Walmart, or it might have been $12.87. That's much cheaper than most places because I saw it at Albertson for like $17.99. I think it's gonna compete well with Jack Daniels, Old Number 7, Jack Daniels Number 7, so on. I don't have any more Old Forester. Sorry, I don't have that. Virginia Black. Well, that's such an odd item. You can never confuse Virginia Black with its peculiarities with anything. But I think it's going to compete well. But I don't think it's going to really stand out. I don't think it's going to be something that you're going to go run and tell your friends and family about. Jim Beam Prohibition, the repeal batch. It's good. It's nice. But it's not something you're going to tell people, oh, you just got to try it. I mean, you're just not going to believe it. No, because if you try it, you're going to say, it tastes like Jim Beam, slightly elevated alcohol, perhaps. And you say, well, it's not chill filtered. What do you notice about it not being chill filtered? And you might say, I don't notice anything. All right. Anyway, so thanks. Oh, let's see. Good morning, Ron. Glad to see you, says Maxwell. Oh, thank you. Well, that's it. We've been on for 30 minutes. It's been an interesting taste challenge, but it wasn't really challenging. Sorry. On to the news.